All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome
What's
to the
the deal?
Unguarded
What's the deal?
podcast.
Hello.
It's happening, young world.
We got the same
What
folks
it
back
is.
again. Today's topic I want to talk about, we're going to go over relationships and outside of prison, inside of prison. We're going to get everybody's perspective in here. So we're going to start with Rahat.
Yes,
and then
sir.
We're just
Yes,
gonna
sir.
go down the circle.
Yes, sir. How are you guys? I know it took us a little while to get back into recording more podcasts, but we are scheduled to do one at least once a week now. So we're going to be dropping one once a week. Any specific thing you guys want to see? We do have some really cool guests that are coming onto our show. We do appreciate all the love that we've been getting. Outside of this, I've had a lot of requests for different things. And one of the things that people have been approaching me about, and they said, look, we want to hear you guys talk about relationships. And the reason why is that our perspective is a little more unique. It's still very innocent, as in a sense that you can say, right? So we all freshly got out, and our perspective is a little bit different than everyone else. Our experiences, unfortunately for me, I've been incarcerated for the past 15 years up until 8 months ago. And, I went in when I was in my, 22 years old, came home when I was 37 years old. So I missed that whole gap. I could have been dating that whole time, but instead I was incarcerated. So now that I'm back in the world, my views are a little bit more old school. So when I first got out, I remember people telling me, my cousins, my younger cousins, shout outs to them, Weiss and Pardes and Kais, man, I love you guys. But anyways, they were telling me, they said, look, man, you're home now, you're a big cuz, and we just want to make sure that, you understand the world now. It's a little bit different than when it was back then. There's certain things that you could do. There's politics with Instagram, so they were kind of teaching me around, and I disagreed with most of the stuff that's going on now. I did, absolutely, because, it's like, for one thing, it's like chivalry, right? We used to say back then, chivalry's dead, chivalry's dead. They've been saying that for decades, right? But I came home and it's like, really, it's dead. Like, if you try to open a car door for a girl, you're frowned upon. Like, people are going to be just looking at it like,
feel
oh,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
They're like, what the fuck are you
They
doing?
feel uncomfortable,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's their problem. You
So,
feel me?
it is.
I was taught. I was
It
taught
is.
the right way.
Right.
So I mean, if they don't appreciate it.
It is. And
so what? Sucks for you.
and so you go on a date, right? And, before you're the one opening the car door. But now it's like, as soon as you get out of a restaurant, the girl's like walking ahead of you. You're like, wait a minute, I'm trying to catch up with you so I can open the door, right? It's like, they don't even expect that anymore. And it's came down that way, right? And then I've also, had the fortune to run into some individuals, to make friends with some people. And, some women have been telling me, friends of mine, and they said that, look, I don't know why, but the dating scene is so much harder. And I agree, it is a lot harder. And it's because of the mentality of the people out here now compared to, back in the days. I remember when our dads used to tell us, or our uncles used to tell us, or the older people that used to tell us, like, oh man, we used to respect women, differently back then. 20 years ago, we respect women. You guys don't even respect women and this and that. But now it's like, I'm seeing it from that point of view, and I'm looking at these youngsters now the same exact way. And so,
It's and then, like, we live in a new generation too. Like, women are seldomly, like, respecting themselves. You feel me? So it's like, we in the era of BBLs
and clout chasers.
So it's all about who got the most followers, who looks the most exotic, who, all that, yeah, man, it's kind of hard. It's
But
kind of hard
at the same time, it's what you pay attention to. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And the reason why I say that is because you don't have to give in to that and leading by example. Oh, no, babe, I'm cool on that, or no, I'm straight. Like, if she love you, she gonna follow you.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So either, you can lead her there or here. You got two options. So, yeah, not to exhaust myself.
But here's what I do want to say, right? I wanted to bring up a good point, is that I actually I've seen women, right? And I've seen many women that have said, man, men just want to basically go out on a date, and once they have sex, they don't want to call them again or reach out to them again. And then I've actually had a friend of mine, and she said it keeps happening to her constantly, where constantly she's meeting men, and one after the other. Now it's been like 4 years that she's been single. So what I say is this, right? It's the fact that you keep meeting people like that, and that you keep giving people like that a chance, right? You should never settle for less than what you truly deserve. You know, if you are looking at a man and you see any traits of him, you know, that would give you red flags. If you're texting a man and he doesn't text you for 12 hours, that's a red flag already, right? That's already shows you that, you know, you're not the priority in his mind. You're not the first thing that he thinks about when he wakes up in the morning. He should be the one texting you, right? That's one. Number two, if you do go out on a date with him and you do catch your man and he's looking at another girl walking by, or if you go out on a date with a girl and she's looking at another man walking by, that's already a red flag. But you still, because of the attraction, you still overlook all those things, and you tell yourself, maybe, you know, this guy is the one.
I could change him.
I could change him, and you look past all the red
I could
flags.
show him how to love me, and I mean, vice versa too. Because like you said, like the ignoring the red flags, but there's also there's also another side to that. You have women out there who are actually like admire and look at other women with you, and you have guys who may not call the woman right away after a date because they don't want to look or appear thirsty, you know. And it's all like it's like a game, man. It's like a game, and it's like it's no roadmap or set of rules, one size fits all to like relationships.
Yes,
you know?
yes. But you have to always guard yourself, right? You have to guard yourself and your personal interests. If you say you want a true relationship and you actually want a man to be faithful to you, respectful to you first and foremost, you have to create that environment from the start, you know?
Boundaries.
And you have to set those boundaries. And so if
Boundaries.
a man just comes at you and he only texts you late at night and with what you're doing, that's already a red flag.
That
you should
door's
already
been
know
open,
that you
or
should
he
already know,
felt like he can do that. Yeah.
and you should already know that you know, basically all he's trying to do is basically sleep with you. So you gotta set those boundaries for yourself and say, you know what? No, I'm not gonna settle for this. Always settle for what you deserve. Never settle for what you don't deserve. Period. You know. So
I mean, only thing I could say is like, ladies, like, you know, honestly, from an honest perspective, is just if I get it too quickly from somebody, it's like I conquered that, like I did that, like, you know, like I lose interest. But if you make me like court you, you feel me? If you make me, you know, men are chasers, women are choosers.
okay. So, but here's the thing, right? A man or a woman, she could literally go and chase, because nowadays women do the same thing too. So
Right.
let's just keep it honest, right?
Indeed.
Women do the
It's a different-
same
it's a
exact
different
thing,
generation,
right?
for sure.
So it happens all day
Shit,
long.
as a
and
matter
so,
of fact, roles then switched. Shit.
yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
roles
Oh,
have switched,
man.
and so it's a little different. So it's shout outs to the ladies, right? And you know, we're not hating on no ladies out there. You know, if
We
you're
ain't
doing your
bashing
thing, you're
no
doing your
women.
thing. But here's the thing, right? We're just trying to give our perspective on the relationship, right, and side of it. And so why certain people that are looking for a relationship and they wonder how come their relationships don't work out. I think that what builds a strong relationship, right? When you do find a man or a woman that you're trying to be with, what builds a strong relationship is not the fact that you guys are attracted to each other or you guys have a lot of similarities and you guys, you know, have a lot of things in common and whatever, right? Those things are all fine and dandy. It's how you overcome those little small arguments, those disagreements, and day-to-day things, right? You cannot, just like how we used to do with.
So
you know
with those arguments, you can listen with the intent to reply or respond, or listen
Right,
with the intent to
right,
understand. When we listen with the intent to understand, maybe we can get somewhere, possibly.
Right. And so you definitely, like how we used to do in prison, right? In prison, you cannot hold any grudges, because grudges, they really mess with you more than anything. You end up ruining relationships over holding grudges. So don't be too prideful to be the first one to reach out, right? You don't be too prideful to the first one to say, "Look, I apologize. I was wrong in that conversation."
I was the prideful one.
Yes.
Because it's like it gets old, you feel me? And then sometimes you convince yourself like, why am I always the one who's, you know, making the effort to to mediate or to reconcile something, you know, and it's kind of like when you in that environment, you kind of like want your loved ones to reach out to you too, you know, like, and so like to say that, what are the dynamics or what can we give the viewers far as insight on like relationships dealing with somebody who's incarcerated?
Right.
So I think the one thing is this, right? You have to be very patient because not because of the person himself or herself, but because of the system, right? Patient in a sense where you can't just pick up your phone and call that person and talk to him. You can't. You don't expect a text message in the morning. You know, maybe now because we do have tablets out there, but some prisons don't.
Tablets.
Don't expect text message in the morning. Don't expect lavish gifts on birthdays and Christmas or anything like that. But, but be very patient and truly love the person for the person, himself or herself, because at this point, if anybody's there for you and, you're going through incarceration and that person says, you know what, I don't care about money. I don't care that you don't have a job right now. I don't care that you're incarcerated right now. I don't care that you can't buy me anything. I don't care that you can't take me out on a date. That's a good person right there. And those people are very, very rare. It's the truth. And so if you do find someone like that that's actually willing to rock with you, stand with you right there, it's a blessing.
I commend any and all women who are standing by they man and gentlemen, whoever got, it's a possibility that you got, a woman who's incarcerated, you standing by her, I commend that because it's not a normal occurrence. It's not something natural, you feel me? We were created to have that companionship,
So in defense, in a sense, for the fellas, whatever you did to get her, keep that up.
Yep.
Whatever you did to get her, you got to keep that up because you got
same
that
energy,
narrative. Oh, that's just jail talk. That's prison talk. And then some of us, we get out and we don't know that female that was rocking with us for that period of time. Right. We get out and then woo woo bam bam and forget about her. Yes. So we got to pay attention to that too. I'm just saying from experience.
Yes.
Put a black eye,
like those
eye
examples. So then when we get up in there, we try to reach out. It's like, nah, that's just prison talk. Now, so it's like demonstration over conversation in a sense, along with conversation.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Now I got a question, like for all of you guys.
Yes.
When you went into prison, I know that the pool of women, you got to keep it to the ones that are loyal, day ones that are there for you. You can't just actively date in prison as you would when you're outside. So what has changed being in there, right? Staying with some of the females that constantly come through for you.
Like the brother said, though,
you got to coming out and
you got to have patience, understanding, because you want a time frame, or in a sense, because you may go 90 days for a conjugal, then you got to wait for a period, and what may take place within that time frame. Right. You got to know how to conduct yourself. You don't want to get involved. Something may. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, but my question is more so on what has changed as far as the pool of women. Right. So how are you going out and about and dating now that you're out versus when you were inside, right? And inside, you only were fucking with females that you probably already knew or dating sites. But outside of here, you can go to a club, you can go to a bar. How are you guys meeting women outside?
So usually, like the majority of people in prison are dating like a flame or somebody they previously known in their life, that has, he or she has history, Right. Nonetheless, there's also other dynamic where, inmates, it's no surprise, we got access to contraband cell phones and stuff like that. And those are used to get on dating sites.
Right.
Okay.
And
what's one of the more famous dating sites that majority of the inmates are on?
POF.
POF. Yes, Plenty of Fish. Go to Plenty of Fish to meet some convicts that are still incarcerated.
Fish. And what's another one? Tag.
Tag and
Do
Plenty
they
of
have
Fish.
specific dating sites for like prisoners and women?
No.
There has to be some, right?
There's websites.
There's women that are looking for
surely.
There's websites where you can go and you just literally pictures of inmates and you can write them. They
like
specialize in that. Yeah, so it's pen pal.
Pentacon.
Yeah, right. Pentacon. That was one of them. So they have.
You have an Islamic site called Muzz, MUZZ.
And Islamic City is another one.
So I do want to bring up this, right? I did see Chris Rock's stand-up comedy, right? He says a lot of true things in his comedy, like mixed in
talking about the new
with
one?
comedy. And so what he was saying is this, right? He said, women and men, this is how they differentiate, right? So a man meets a woman, right? And he goes out on a date with her. The next day, he's telling his friends about her, and the first thing his friends ask, "What she look like?" And then he's like, "Oh, she was bad. She was beautiful. She's this, and he describes her, right? A woman goes out on a date with a man, and what happens is when she tells the next day, she tells her friends about this guy. The first
different
thing
perspectives.
her friends ask is, "What does he do for a living? What kind of
Right,
car did he
right,
drive?"
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's the
For
first
sure.
thing. So this was one thing for us, for our viewers, when we came home, right? I remember I was on a dating site, and when I first got out, and every girl that I would meet, they were like, "Oh my God, you're very attractive, this," and we start talking like, "What do you do for a living?"
Yep.
But coming home from prison, that was kind of hard for me because I was still struggling to find my way before the security company, ISP, and so before owning the security company, it was like a still struggle going through it, right? And so it was like for me, I felt like I was behind everyone, right? I was
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure.
So
You playing
even
catch up.
even if it didn't matter, you got a six pack, didn't matter that you're a nice guy, didn't matter the looks. It was like all about the job, right? Like what do you do? What do you drive? Where do you live and this and that. And so that kind of made me feel a certain way, right? I was like, and so I had to sit down and think to myself. I was like, if a woman is really looking at me as a dollar sign, that's all she's looking at me, right? Do I really want that woman in my life? Because the first thing she's asking me, nothing as far as how many siblings do you have, or you know what I'm saying, where you from, what country you from, and this and that. The first thing she asks me is, what do you do for a living? You know what I'm saying? Like when that question is asked, I automatically start thinking in my head. I'm like, okay.
I mean, but that is an important question because are
Most
you
definitely.
a nothing?
But here's the thing.
I mean, do you
But
got a
later
life?
down the relationship.
But look,
not
look,
in
here's the
beginning,
thing.
right?
Here's the thing. A good person could be down on his luck. That does not make or break a good person. You could be a good person, right, and work at a McDonald's. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be given a chance. But if I told a woman, right, doesn't matter how attractive or how much of a good person I am, and I told her I just got a job at McDonald's. I just came home from prison. And then she's gonna be like, "Oh, you nothing? You 30-something years old. What do you mean?" You know what I'm saying? Like that shouldn't be looked upon like that, right? That doesn't make
That
or
doesn't
break you
define,
because you could have literally bad luck in your life. You could go through one wrong accident in life, and guess what? You lost your job. You lost everything. It happens to many people out
I'm
there.
gonna play devil's advocate for a bit. And
Go ahead.
you also got women like if you tell them that they like okay,
Shout out to
you gotta
those women.
start, man. Shout out
Shout
to 'em,
out
'cause
to
they
those
out
women.
there.
As long as you're
They
trying,
out there.
right?
Yes.
You got women beautiful. Like I had a theory that like all beautiful women were like crazy or something, but like you got
Well, majority of them are. Majority.
you're not bashing
Men-
women.
men
we
are
just
too.
saying
Men
we-
are
we-
crazy
we-
too.
But hey,
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
could be
for
good
sure.
though.
If you
Crazy could
got
be
J
good though.
Cash
if you
and all
fixing
that.
I'm
your
not saying
mouth
it's bad,
asking me
right?
for money, that's a turn off.
Yes.
Off the
First,
top.
if-
Right
if
away, right.
every other conversation, and you like, I'm like, what? And then when you call, I may not answer or I may not respond. That's why.
Yeah.
Because first of all, dealing with a genuine or a real dude, you
Right.
don't have to ask.
Right.
You
You
feel
don't
me?
gotta
Because he
ask
gonna
nothing.
see just being there. You feel me?
Exactly.
So
Not only is he gonna
on
see,
top
he
of
gonna
that,
listen.
on top of that, by you asking, what is you asking for?
Right. Imagine if a guy was doing the same thing to a female, like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" and asking you how much money do you make. Right. The girl right away would be defensive, like, "Oh, why is he looking at my money? Why is he asking me
Yes.
this
Count
every
my
time?"
pockets.
Yes,
right.
yes.
So it's similar to that as well. But I just feel like as long as you're trying, it shouldn't be, that important of a thing for.
Yeah, because we
when
build
it
each
comes-
other up.
Right.
We build each
Exactly.
other
So-
up, right?
So here's the thing what we've said so far, ladies. Try to be mindful of all the questions that you ask a guy, right? Because then if you're looking at a guy as a dollar sign, right? He's like, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sleep with her,
That's
and
it.
so it don't
Yeah.
even matter, and that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what
Yeah.
it flips on that coin, right?
Right.
And then you're complaining that every guy that you meet is trying to sleep with you, and that's
Right.
it.
And not only that, but also be careful and very mindful of asking all the appropriate questions.
Yes, yes.
All the the right questions.
Right.
For sure. You're trying to get to know somebody, man. You want to know, what they're passionate about, what they love.
Yes.
You want to know
And
what
are-
they like, what they dislike.
Yes.
Right. And are you willing to support that?
Yes.
Are you willing to
For
get
sure.
behind that person on that, right? Your
So
significant other.
you definitely want to know some kind of a background. Where did you grow up? You know, tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, how many siblings do you have? You know, where were you born? What high school did you go to? Those are the questions that matter. What type of music do you listen to? Because I know people say that opposites attract, right? But I honestly, truly, from my experience, believe that opposites don't attract, because if you do meet someone that you have so much, not in common with, eventually you're gonna find ways to disagree and argue more, right? It might work for you, and you might, think that that might be cute, but in the end, in the long run, opposites don't really attract. What does attract, when you find someone that has the same morals, same values, likes the same music as you,
Facts.
is believes in a lot of the things that you do too. Then what happens is you will avoid those smaller arguments, so you wouldn't have to put your pride on the side, and you wouldn't have to, so because you don't want to get in the car and your girl listens to country music, but you listen to rap music, and you're sitting every time like, man, turn this damn thing off, man. I don't want to hear that. So because you chose, just because of attraction, you want to find a person that has the most similarities to you, and can find common ground with you, believes in the same things that you believe in. Doesn't have to be necessarily religion or race, but most commonly it is. I actually did date someone whose political beliefs were a little bit different than mine, and I was just like, I was willing to put it away. I was like, look, I don't care, let's just set it aside, who cares, right? But kept coming up, keeps coming up, and so it's like, all right, so you have to be mindful of those things.
Yeah, she got to be on the same path as me. This is why, because either you gonna come my way, or you gonna get me to go astray, or get off my path and come to you. So we got to be like-minded and on the same path, on the same accord. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, this guy, like, we went out to Vegas and he set me up on a double date with this one girl whose political beliefs were kind of radical to mine. And right away, I saw it as a red flag. So that's why you have to, before you even go further that deep in, you should be having those conversations and figuring out, hey, can I spend the next couple of months, years, whatever you're...
Put it on the table and give me the options, whether if I want to accept or...
If she's crazy the first 3 hours of us meeting, I'm fucking good.
He could be crazy too, so we're not just bashing women.
I'm not saying I have my disadvantages too, but hey, here's the thing: we work it out. But if we both don't match and we're gonna constantly clash on ideas, it's not gonna work out.
But as a woman or
I can love you from a distance.
As a woman or a man, don't ever put your personal values and beliefs aside, especially if they're righteous values and beliefs, aside for another person.
Stand on what you believe in.
What you believe in. Because if a person is gonna make you change your beliefs because they're correct beliefs, and force you to be, to alter your beliefs to their liking, that's not a good person for you. Okay, you're already compromising your own personal worth. So make sure you know your personal self-worth, and don't ever compromise. And just, here's the thing: compromise should come in a small levels, not in a major level. It shouldn't come in a form of religion, right? If you're born with your religion, if a person does not respect your beliefs, or, if he does not respect, your family values, the values that you were born with, smaller beliefs, that's, I like the Lakers, okay, and your man likes the Clippers. And so you're like, you know what? He wants you to be a Clipper fan. You know what? Is it worth losing a good person?
There's some diehard fans.
There are some diehard fans, but is it worth, for me, those small things, like
be open-minded, even though you may not agree. You know what I'm saying? Be open-minded.
Open-minded and open-hearted.
Yes, open-hearted at all times, because in the end, this is the one person that you're trying to truly be in a relationship with and fall in love with, right? If you cannot show them love, compassion, respect, mercy, and any one of those good qualities that us as humans we possess, then who are you going to show those qualities to?
So let me segue into something right now, right? I want to get off topic. So, dealing with relationship with men in prison. Won't y'all leave comments, man? If anybody who's had a relationship with somebody that's been incarcerated, let us know, what you guys have experienced. Now, from my perspective, I know I was a handful to deal with.
Yeah,
bro. Especially like when I first went in, I kind of like had this perspective, like, well, somebody owes me something. I'm in jail. I should be getting this. And then, like, at the end of the day, man, once I started maturing and really like first of all, is soul searching at its finest, right? And having the understanding that ain't nobody put me in here but me, you know.
Right.
And I used to always have this perspective that like, oh my family left me, you know, like shit, I left them, you know. And so like whatever I was feeling inside towards them, they were feeling towards me, right? But man, I was demanding, man. I was demanding, and like if things didn't go my way, like I'm stubborn. I wouldn't call because I didn't want this perspective. Like so we're in prison, so we gotta kind of like close off like certain feelings and behaviors inside to like survive, right? So if I know that, you know, I went through a breakup or, you know, things aren't as solid as I like them to be between me and my girl, like I cut it off. I ignore it. I stay away from the phone. I wouldn't call. And that was my way of like punishing them. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, she don't hear from me. Maybe she'll miss me. And then like it's worked plenty of times. Like when I call after not calling for a while, I was like, oh my gosh, where you been? Or I get a letter.
Yeah.
Call me. What's going on? And that was what I wanted to receive. I wanted to receive that, okay, yeah, you know. But
It's the pride.
man, sometimes, oh yeah, for sure. Sometimes,
the
man,
pride.
it could work against you.
You gotta
know?
watch them phones though, because them phones can be stressful. I
Man,
was
stress,
fortunate.
what they call the phone?
Stress box.
Stress box.
Stress
So,
box.
Yes.
On the
Stress
real.
box.
Get off the stress box.
To be honest, I would prefer to do my time if I had to do time with no relationship. Like, you feel me?
Stress-free.
It was like, yeah, like totally.
But would it be
and then like
stress-free?
getting on the phone, right? Instead of, I was like totally the opposite in a sense. I know toe up conditions is in the world and everything, so they need that energy, they need that support morally and all that. You feel me? So when I get on the phone, I need that too, the package and all that. That's coming.
Yeah.
But I know on the other end, I'm gonna send that through this phone.
Right.
I'm not just a voice over the phone. You feel me? So, and then when the COVID, the menace was.
Oh man.
Right? So I was running that up. Like, man, what's the deal? Checking on my people's like, what's happening? I wasn't mad. I wasn't getting no letters like how I expected it. You feel me? I was getting it. You feel me? But I understand. Like I was saying, the first 2 times I did time, it was fun and it went by fast. This time it was slow and kind of more lessons in that for a purpose, for a reason. You feel me? And that's what I paid attention to more so. Disregard all that hanging out on the yard, blah blah, this and all that. It was more so like the brother just said, soul search, getting self in order and intact.
So you just said something important too, like the expectations too. Like when you put these expectations on certain people, man, 9 times out of 10, man, you're gonna be very disappointed.
You put the expectations. And that's the thing. When we open ourselves up in a relationship, right? You're dating someone, you set yourself up for failure because you set those expectations. When you didn't set the boundaries first, you set the boundary first and tell yourself, all right, this is what I expect. This is what I'm going to get, and this is the only type of person I'm going to date who's going to treat me this way. But if you don't set those boundaries for yourself and for the other person, and you have the expectations of those boundaries, guess what? 9 times out of 10, the person's going to disappoint you, and you shouldn't be mad at anyone else but yourself. But I wanted to ask everybody here a quick question, right? So, coming home, you meet a girl, and you tell her you were incarcerated. What is her reaction?
What? Oh my gosh, really? You know, and I mean, some of them may, you know, be like, okay, that's good. Glad, happy you're home. And some like, what? Like, what'd you do? Like, what you, like, I want to know, are you crazy? You killed somebody? Like, what's going on?
But for most part, it's been welcoming, positive, or has it
sure.
been like, oh my God, no, I don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Man, thank God, man. It has been very welcoming. You know, people haven't been so critical. However, like I came out here with the mindset that people were going to be super immensely critical, you know?
Yeah. And so
it was a little bit of both. Well, more so good, but you know what I'm saying, a little bit of both. Run that question back again.
So, you know, for me, right, every time that I've actually have told any woman that I was incarcerated.
Oh,
Right?
that-
The
yeah,
first thing that the woman would say, "Oh my God, well, I couldn't even tell. That's so attractive." I was like, "Attractive? Okay." I was like,
So for me, it was without conversation. It was like either you just came from the Navy, the Army, prison, or something, because the structure, how you carry yourself, you feel me? The structure of your body,
Yeah.
your mindset,
No,
and
but
everything.
we're
So it's like
asking-
where you just come from. You feel me? And you look different. It's like you foreign. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the opposite attract, because you're not looking like the rest of them. You don't even talk like the rest of them. You feel me? And that's what they're into now, foreign. They don't want nothing domestic. If you talk different, sound different, look different, when it comes down to cars, clothing, and all that, that's what they're looking for. So when you coming from them stoops back to out here, you're foreign. And they gravitate towards that. All I hear, subhanAllah, all I hear is you pleasant. You're you marriage material. Like seriously, like
Right.
patience and understanding and all that. Like
But now on
subhanAllah.
the same flip side, right? Let's say if a girl and you were out here and a girl came and told you you go out on a date with her and she tells you, "I just came home from doing 15 years in prison." What would your reaction be? Would you be like, "Oh my God, that's
Man,
so
you married?
attractive"?
I'm gonna be like, damn, she crazy. She killed somebody. She for sure got her baby
Right.
daddy.
So do you guys see like females change up whenever you guys talk about, hey, I just got out of prison, like prior to talking to them? Have you seen them in a positive way or in a negative way? Like,
so
kinda
like
switch up?
in my experience, majority of them they embrace it, you know,
Yeah.
because like a lot of them, the way I conduct myself, they never would have known.
But do you think they're embracing it due to fear, or are they embracing
Man,
it
first
in a
of
way
all,
to like,
I
you
think
fresh
they're-
meat. Ain't no
they're-
female touched you.
Right.
So it's like, oh,
And-
okay, yeah.
because like you mentioned, if a girl told you that, you'd be like, what the fuck?
they're
Right.
intrigued.
Okay.
Like, okay, this handsome individual,
Yeah.
the way he conduct himself, this and that. He just told me he's in prison. I want to
Yeah.
know. I want to like get to know him. Then you have some like, oh my gosh, I need to Google this guy. and see what the-
Look
Yeah.
at his background.
But that's
Right.
very that's been very rare as far as just seeing someone like that that's actually would do something like that. So for us, our stories are out there on podcasts. You guys can watch all of our previous episodes, and we're not ashamed. We're not proud, but we are not ashamed people living our lives now to saying that, oh my God, we can't change our past. We just can't.
Well,
No
for
person
sure.
can go and
Yeah.
change his past. What you could do is you could create a better future for yourself. Right?
And we are not our mistakes.
Right. And so
You know,
we are
facts.
actually much better than that. We're actually trying to live our lives, setting examples for people who are following that path towards incarceration. So, going back to topic, right? Just as far as relationships go.
Now, what advice would you give to people that actually went to prison? They're going through a breakup, because it caused a lot of stress. How can they recuperate and get their mind off of breakup? What advice would you guys give them, right? Going through a breakup, especially being in prison and you don't have nobody. How did you guys recuperate in those kind of terms if you went through
Man,
it?
for me, it was simply distracting myself with like progression. Like,
Yep.
let me study. Let me work out more. Let me distract myself with something
Mind over matter.
that's going to like benefit me,
Right.
Because if you sit there and sulk, and it's so easy to sulk, like, I mean, going through a breakup while you're incarcerated
Oh my
is
God.
10 times elevated than going
my
through
God.
a breakup when you're around this
Yes.
person, because like
You're steadily thinking about it.
inside our feelings and emotions are more intensified, heightened, and
Right.
things that you wouldn't trip off of when you was outside. Like, for instance, like if I'm on a phone call with my chick and I'm like driving or something and she calls me and gets mad and hangs up the phone, I'm gonna look at the phone and toss on the seat and keep driving.
Right.
But inside it's like, well, and they hang up, like, well, you look at the phone, put the phone,
Right.
let me, what's going on? Calling back,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know what?
I didn't see that.
What? Man,
Stay away from the.
yeah,
stay
that's
away,
why I
get
stayed
off the
away.
phone,
Man, you
dude.
hang up on me
Get off the phone.
most 9 times out of 10. Man, I'm not gonna call back.
Yes,
Right.
yes. But there's men out there
Pride.
literally they'll stay on the phone for 15 minutes dialing.
Arguing.
Bro. No answer, no dialing.
You remember Bad Boy?
Yes, dialing. And so
Monster.
So he's completely right. When you're incarcerated and you have a breakup, you're thinking about it way more than you would over here, right?
You have nothing
and the
but
whole
time
time
to
you're saying,
think.
"I can't wait till I get out. I'll show her. I'll freaking do this. So that way I'll make her this, and she'll be jealous." And then when you get out, you're like, "Man, all that stuff that I did in there, all that stress, it didn't even matter out here.
Like,
You
what's
know,
up,
it does not
baby?
even matter."
What's going on?
But genuinely, if you do meet someone who's good to you and who's a good person, you should hold on to them no matter what, because a lot of people, it's a human nature to have greed, right? The person who has $1,000, he wants 10 grand. The person who has 10 grand, he wants 100. The person who has 100 grand, he wants $1 million, and million wants 10 million, and 10 million to 100, and 100 wants $1 billion. It's just naturally, that's just what happens. Why do we even have that built in within us, right? So when you're in a relationship, you're with someone who's just a beautiful person, and you're thinking, well, maybe I can meet someone that's better than her. Maybe I could, this is it, because you're thinking already, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, but it's not.
Yeah, water
The
yours.
grass is not greener on the other side of the fence. Hold on to that person, right? Appreciate that person for what they are. Now, if the person is actually not a good person to you, you're in an abusive relationship. Women or men, do not ever be in an abusive relationship. If any person is abusing you, right, they truly don't deserve you.
Mentally, verbally,
Yes.
physically, all
Yes.
that.
So
Like,
many,
no one to
so
pull out.
many, so many forms of abuse. Sometimes
Right.
men, whoever the provider is, they can use finances as a form of abuse, manipulation, or restricting your spouse from doing certain activities.
Mhm.
That can be a form of abuse or whatever. It's
My
different.
my
forms.
advice would be to the men is in regards to women is just love them and correct them and love them at the same time, and be gentle. Be gentle with them, because gentleness only enter our affairs for the betterment. You know
Man.
what I'm saying?
I had to constantly remind myself of that, because being in an environment such as the prison environment, man, there's not too much gentleness going
Yes.
on, and that emanates into like our conversations with our loved ones. We may be frustrated about something going on around us, and clearly they can feel it. They can feel that energy. Like it can come through. So like remember, like, yeah, being gentle for sure.
Yeah,
with-
like
with
it
your
ain't nothing wrong with being humble and firm.
empathy.
Yes.
You be firm but humble too.
Yes, humble.
It's a good blend.
And that's the thing, I think, because in today's society, right, the social media plays such a huge role in the expectations of everyone, right, that sometimes your whole relationship might be on social media because all your friends are talking about it. Everyone knows your business, right, and everyone's out there. And so for you to even reach out to your girl because you guys are having a disagreement and apologize to her, who cares? Who cares what the world thinks, right? In the end of the day, they are not your relationship. You're your relationship.
Hey, I got a situation real brief.
Yeah.
I got a situation right now. I'm going to be transparent and open about this. You feel me? Not too much, though. I was dealing with this individual in the past, and there's still ties in a sense, right? However, this female has a baby now.
Okay.
By a relative, but by us being on paper, they're reaching out to you like, man, what's the deal with this?
By relative, do you mean her own relative or somebody else?
On the other side of the tracks, right?
Okay.
So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
This child is innocent, you feel me? Like, this baby shouldn't have to go to the system or to a non-family member. What would you do?
Right.
This is your cousin's child by this woman.
Right.
Like, you feel me? Like,
but
and they
see-
getting at you like, hey, it's like, you feel me? Like,
The thing is this, right?
do you reach out and
You have to look inside yourself and really find out who would you do this for. Would you
Right.
do it for the cousin, for the woman, or for the child, right?
Child.
I think that
Exactly.
honestly, the
That's just-
child is the innocent party
Yeah.
in this. Believe it or
The
not,
most important at the
us prisoners, we are very compassionate towards kids, even towards women,
animals.
animals. You know, we are
Shout out to
contrary to what
Nisa.
people believe. Shout out! It's her birthday
Nisa.
today.
Yeah, it is Nisa's
Happy
birthday today.
Happy birthday to my
And
big
by the way-
sis, Amanda. Happy
Yes.
birthday, sis. For
Happy
Happy
sure.
birthday,
birthday.
for
By the
sure.
way,
No
if you guys
talk.
don't know who Nisa is, that's the dog that was in prison
Yes,
with you guys.
she
You guys
was
trained
We
her.
trained her for 4 months.
And
She
then
lived
we
in a
ended up
cell with
adopting
me.
her.
Sure.
She lived in a cell with me. She was one of the smartest dogs, so I
Man.
couldn't let her go to a different family. So I said, you know what? I made the phone call like, y'all
Smartest
need to come
dog
pick
ever.
her up.
That
And
dog
so,
is fucking smart.
So smart. She's a prisoner.
Yeah.
She's a prisoner. Of
Hey,
course she's smart.
Here's the crazy thing. She came out. She was like,
Eating spread.
man, she was like, not even, nobody can go near her. She was just like looking around her. Now she's the goofiest. She had that prison mentality when she first came, but now
Yeah.
she's like
She
more
was
open.
institutionalized.
Yeah, she was. And now she's
sure.
more open. But I want to touch on a very important question and topic. And this deals with what's going on with modern society. I don't know if you guys know who Andrew Tate is. Andrew
Yes.
Tate, he
Oh,
went to
yeah.
prison.
Yes.
He turned Muslim. He went, he's very controversial as how he looks at dating and women, and how society should be, right? And what do you guys think about his mentality as what he says? And if you guys don't know, let me give you guys a little bit of background. He says that a woman should basically abide by what a man says, right? She should follow like the Muslim traditions. She should be at home cooking and should not be out and about and doing some of these things, right? It's very controversial, and that's what the guy's known for that.
So here's what I did see a few of his podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So I like Andrew Tate.
I like him
but
too. If we could get him on
I
podcast, it'd be amazing.
I still disagree
Yeah.
with what he says, right? Because my father, he's always showed my mother respect, right? And it comes down to respect. If you love a woman and she is the mother of your kids, right? You're gonna tell her that she has to stay home and cook all day and clean all day, right? Like
That's
I'm not
not
too
right.
prideful. I'm not too prideful. I'll come home and I'll cook with my woman. I'll
Man.
clean with my woman. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'll
sure.
raise my kids with my woman.
Man, my
That's
mother
just-
taught me how to cook and clean. I do it well,
How d-
so it's like it's never gonna be an issue.
But respect
you
will be there, right?
Yeah.
Respect
But living
will
in
be
these days and times, you need. First of all, I need more than 2 incomes. I need 5 sources of income. You feel me? She need. You know what I'm saying? We're not living in those days and times to where one can just.
Well, yeah, but at the
Work
same
and
time,
be-
even
you know what I'm
if
saying?
one
Like-
person does work, that's just work, right? Even if one person does work, like that's
Being
still
a mother
your
is a
woman.
full-time job.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
They should
Shout out to
actually
all the mothers.
compensate women for being mothers.
Exactly.
Yes, well, you know what? Shout out to all the women out there, especially the single mothers. I give them so much props, right? Especially the way that the prices are out here, how
But
expensive it is.
I'm going back. I'm
The
going back to
opposite
what
too.
you were saying, Mo, from an Islamic perspective, like oppressing women, telling them to stay at home, they can't do this and do that. If she's willing to work and that's what she want to do, that's her money. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? In Islam, you know what I'm saying? Your money is her money. Her
Exactly.
money is her
Exactly.
money.
Exactly.
You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So, you know,
It doesn't
And-
have to be oppression.
And let's clear this up. Like Islam does not promote misogyny.
Oppression. Yeah.
It
Exactly.
does not promote oppression. Like
Right.
women have just as many, if not more, rights over men,
Exactly. Exactly.
according to the Quran.
Yes,
Very
yes.
true.
So and that's how it is. And it's
Women and children.
Yeah.
it's a little bit of, the popular belief is that we oppress women. That's not true. If
Right.
you read the Quran, it's completely opposite, right?
Right.
It says that heaven is at the feet of your mother, not your
Exactly.
father, your mother. That's
Exactly.
how much role that women actually have, right?
facts.
And so the thing of it is this, right? Whether you're a man or you're a woman in a relationship, right? You should never try to oppress the person that you're with. So oppression is one of those things, right? Like if you would want something for yourself and you don't want that same thing for your partner, you're oppressing them, right?
Want for your brother what you want for yourself.
Or want for
Or
your
your
woman
sister,
what you
you
want
want
for
for
yourself. You
Now,
know
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying?
Andrew Tate is oppressing women, in my opinion.
Telling her to stay home
No,
and clean
he's
and
not
cook.
saying stay home. He's saying if she cannot take care of herself, it's better that he does it. Now, what he got in trouble for, he was giving women jobs to go make money as cam girls from home, right? He was providing
Cam
them
girls?
housing. Yeah, he was providing them housing. He was in Romania. He had this whole that's how he made majority of his money. He had a whole cam website
So like
where girls were
OnlyFans.
doing that,
What
and
were-
he was
what were
helping
they
them
doing?
make money. They're making-
OnlyFans?
So it's
It's sort
a
of like
form
that.
of prostitution through webcam. I'm about to
But
start,
they're not
start
having
a
sex.
subscriber.
Yeah.
No, but listen, I'm about to start a subscription service for men to watch me go there. Or,
You're starting it?
No, come on, bro. What the hell?
Because you said I'm about to start. That's what you're saying. You're saying that's what
I'm
women
giving an
do.
example.
Okay, I'm
Speaking in
like,
third
whoa.
He's
person.
giving an example.
It's for damn
I'm
fool.
like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
It's good
I
that
do
you
this
clarify
all
that.
the time.
Oh, this guy's
all
crazy.
the time.
This guy's crazy. I'm like, nah, don't do it,
But
bro.
he looking at me like,
Don't do it. Bro, don't
you
do
some
it.
freak shit, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Don't do it.
Now, here's another thing, too, on another topic, right? What about the defeminization of men that's going on in society today? I don't have a problem with gay people, but there is certain agendas that are being pushed out there, and I'm seeing a lot of famous folks being feminized that weren't feminine before. And I'm not going to call out some of their names because they're very popular, but there have been, I'm pretty sure you guys have been seeing it in social media, guys turning more feminine than they were in the past. And that's why Andrew Tate, he's trying to bring that masculinity back into the male.
But listen,
Right?
here's the thing, right? If a person's happy within themselves, right?
Yeah.
I'm no one. Like, if I see a stranger walking down the street and that man looks feminine, and according to my eyes, I don't care. That man is not paying my bills. That man, I don't even know him from Adam. So why would I care what the hell he has going on?
No,
I don't
for
care.
children.
But
like the way that children go to school now, they're saying it's okay. They're saying that they can take your children away if they want to change their gender at an age of 3.
see, that would
Is that
of
fucking?
course.
I mean, it's the
I
new
would
law now in
disagree.
California. They can take the kids away from you.
Agree. I would
They can take
disagree.
your kids away
No.
from you. If your kid says, "Hey, I want to become a girl," now, or a girl says, "I want to become a boy now," my parents are not letting me. The state can take them away from you and put them in a house where
That's
it's allowed
crap.
to do
Is
that.
that right?
That's crap.
That's very true in California. It's the law now. They can do that.
Wow.
They can do that in
Wow.
Texas. They cannot. There's certain states that are allowing that, and that's what I mean. There's some agendas going around to feminize.
Now, if you're-
and
let's say if
starting
you're-
at a very young age, male and female.
I mean, what is it gonna come down to? We're gonna stop the reproduction system, or like what's real is fake and
knows?
what's fake is real.
Right.
Like it's gonna
it's
come down to
happening.
AIs. Like are children gonna be robots? Like what's the deal? Like
It's slowly going towards that way from what it seems, but I just wanted to get your guys' perspective on what do you guys think about that? Like children at a very young age being brainwashed, that's saying
That's
that this
not
is
right.
okay.
That's
right?
not right, because the thing is this, right? At the same time, look at it from a justice system point of view, right? They're saying that they want children to make decisions at age 3, right? But they consider them minors, right?
Babies,
And-
they're kids, they're little babies.
that's a big decision. That's a huge decision that's going to affect. And you're telling my child that he could do it, and that the hell with what your parents are saying.
They can
and
make that decision.
They can make that decision
So
on their
the
own.
age of when you become a mukallaf, when you reach the age of puberty, then that's when you're responsible. When you start for a male, when you start to have wet dreams or experience the semen coming out, or your voice change, or you growing pubic hairs where it's not, or for the woman when you start menstruating, or start growing pubic hair, that's when you become responsible.
Right.
Now you're being held accountable for what you do. But
Right.
3,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? Come on
Right.
now, like.
It's crazy because, like Rahad said, like the justice system recognize anybody before the age of 25 as a minor,
Right.
right? So
Don't confuse
you're
my
allowing-
child. Stop
you're allowing-
confusing our children.
You're allowing a minor
Right.
to make life-altering decisions.
Yeah.
Yes.
As far as like choosing what type of genitalia they want.
Right.
That's,
And there's so many different pronouns that they can choose, and if they don't abide by them,
bro,
they can be taken away.
the pronoun ordeal as well is like man, this era has been like so far removed from like the values in which like
I
grew
believe
up
we
on.
gotta stop. We have to not let society raise our children, and not let the streets and all that. Like
should
spend more
be the
time
hands
with
of
our
the
children
parents.
and teach them
Yeah.
and show them the
Right.
hawk, the truth of the matter. You feel me?
Right.
Like this is reality.
Exactly.
Like you know.
Everybody has the right to live their life according to their personal beliefs.
Exactly.
No one should be oppressed. You know, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, whatever
You
your
should be able to
pronouns,
love
whatever it
whoever
is.
you want to love. all that,
Exactly.
you know,
You
for
have the
sure.
right to do that. God gave you free will to do whatever you want to do with your free will. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to force you to live your life a certain way. But at the same time, don't allow
children.
my children to be misled at
Right.
such a young age.
Exactly.
Let them grow up into adults and make their own decision.
Exactly.
Now, if you're in a relationship and your wife believes that, oh, that's the right thing to do at age 3, and you don't believe that, that's a big thing that they created between you and your wife in your life, you know? Because it's
it creates
kids.
division as
It
well.
does. It really does. And what would you do in that sense if let's say your wife said, no, our son is it's okay for him to pick, and if we're not gonna give him a gender, and you're like, no, what you mean?
Bro, it's mind-boggling to even think about something like that. But like, I would imagine that I will be like miserable,
Yes.
you know, because here it is, we can't even agree about like issues regarding our child or how we want our child to be raised, you know,
Right.
and that enables us to no longer live in harmony. This house will not be peaceful,
Right.
you know, if we can't agree on something like that. And then the child is looking at both his parents like, oh my, like, what's going on? Like this is how I'm feeling. Y'all
that's
can't
the-
even agree on
That's
how I'm
that's the
feeling.
problem. So now the society, if the child sees that both the parents are not agreeing, he can just leave, or she can just leave and be like, hey, tell their teachers my parents are not letting me be free. They're not letting me follow
What?
my pronouns, and they will place them in a place. And guess who the person that pitched this? She's like some transvestite activist, and then she's saying, or he is saying that
Transgender.
I can take you guys in, come to my house and live with me, right? And
What?
they're allowing them to do that legally.
So
And they've been
so a
taking kids
stranger.
away.
So here's the thing. If let's say the person was not gay and was straight and came out and was like, oh, if your parents don't let you have the freedom of something, you can come live with me.
Yes.
How would that look if it was anyone else? So how is the society allowing some strange kids to go live with another
taking them
strange
away from their
person?
families. They're
That they're taking them away from the. That's wrong. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
And not only that, like to live with a stranger that is also living like an alternative lifestyle, you know.
But it doesn't matter. That's their choice if they want to do that, right? In the end, if they want to live a
No,
certain
but a
life, that's
child
their
should
choice.
not be
But
able
a child,
to make that,
yes,
that decision.
yes,
Exactly.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
they're being more influenced by this
Those-
person.
Exactly.
I agree. But I'm saying that person, whoever lives that type of life, like.
No, we don't
It's just
care
a
about that.
stranger. It's
Yeah.
just a stranger. It
stranger,
doesn't matter.
period.
Like, why
Yeah.
is the child going to live with the stranger, and the society's allowing this to happen? Period. Right? And I think that in general, it's just wrong to actually attack kids like that, because
Exactly.
there's been a lot of relationships out there that have been affected by this. You know, whether you're out here or whether you're in prison, or whatever your relationship may be, you might have been in a relationship for a long time, and your child decides to do something like that, and you will have huge disagreements, right? And it'll ruin your relationship. So I think society in that sense is very, very wrong for putting kids in those positions in the
It's
first
the
place.
education system. The
Yes.
education system is allowing kids to go and tell their and the teachers are told to tell them at an early age that they can change their gender anytime they want if they don't feel comfortable being who they are. And
They tell them that at
putting
school?
they're telling them that in elementary schools now.
Yeah,
Not even in
so-
high schools. It's starting at a very young age
Yeah,
now.
we sending our kids to Isla. That's where our young brothers and
yeah.
sisters go.
So that's
So
why.
Isla on
So
Slauson,
going
on the
back
real.
to Andrew Tate, he's starting his own academy. And he's trying to like tell kids this is the right
They're
way,
told
the
the right
Islamic
way,
way,
get on the real.
and saying that you guys should be, not think about these things until you're further down the road and actually a grown adult, right? And that's what I mean. Like, hey, some of his values is very.
So how can we get this Andrew Tate guy on our podcast? It would be interesting just to have an open conversation with him. I think that I did see his podcast, and I did see him on YouTube. He does talk about a lot of interesting things. I think that he is a smart man,
Yeah.
but I think some of the things that people do find controversial, I think he would have the best explanation. So
Yeah.
maybe we can reach out to him to see, hey, we just started out with a couple of new
Yeah.
guys, but we would love to just have a conversation with you.
I don't think he would
Well,
mind.
he lives
in Romania.
I mean, we
Yeah.
could always do it through Zoom, right?
Yeah, no,
Like,
you could do it through Zoom. They can hook it up here.
Yeah, and so-
Ari and Morgan can do it. But now here's the thing: he's not talking to nobody yet because he's still going through that case that's happening in Romania. They're charging him for sex trafficking.
What?
Because some of the women said that
Yeah.
he kidnapped us and made us stay there. But there's videos of him saying you can leave. They're on a boat, and his brother was like, "Yo, you can leave whenever. I can get you your ticket." Like they were not holding them like in handcuffs or whatever. They could leave the house whenever. But these girls, it's just the media, because he turned Muslim and he turned over 500,000 kids that were in his classes. They turned Muslim. So I feel like the society didn't like that, and they are trying to throw him under the bus and throwing all these extra things on top of him, and they have no proof on him. That's what the Romanian jail kept him for 90 days, and they didn't have no proof on him. So they were like, okay, you can go home, but he's like on house arrest until that court case gets dismissed. But then they're not able
Is
to
he
find
in
any proof.
Romania?
He's in Romania right now.
What
He has a house
on
in
earth
Dubai
is he
as well.
doing in Romania?
He has a huge house over there. He has businesses over there. That's where he was doing his cam shows. In Romania, there's different
Really?
laws for like cams and websites and stuff like that. So
Well,
he
it
had that
obviously
business there
didn't
from the
work
past.
for him if they charged him with the crime. I mean,
Well, those girls were lying. So in my opinion, everybody has their own beliefs, but in my opinion, I feel like those girls, they wanted to get some money from him. He didn't want to, give him money.
think
There
it
you
was
go,
a-
woman and
think
money
it-
again.
You think it was a part of a smear campaign?
I think there was a smear campaign. I feel like there is a group of individuals that don't like that he's making men more masculine again, how it was back in the days, and they have this
Some
agenda
people might
that
consider that toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it is.
but
I
here's the
feel like
thing: women want masculine men. Why would you
Exactly.
want your men not to be
Be
masculine?
masculine, yeah.
You want your man to be a man. You want your man to actually
If you're a
take
straight
care
woman
of you and,
and
you
a
know,
straight
so
man, then that's
how it should be,
and
right?
that's what he's pitching to. But if you guys are anything else, that's up to you guys, right? It's not.
Right.
He's not trying to change gay people to straight. He's just saying, hey, if you're gonna be a masculine man, you're straight. This is how you should, raise your kids, and this is how you guys should live your life, right? Women and men. But that's why it gets kind of extreme because he goes into the extreme Islam, how women should stay home,
Huh.
and he's able to. He has 2 wives or.
He has 2 wives,
Yeah, he has
3
two-
wives.
Yeah, and they all stay at the home together, and he has a huge mansion. So they all work together, and he gives them all happy. He gives them the same thing. He gives one of them in Islam. He's supposed to give all of them the same thing. So
Yes.
he's treating them equally.
Equally, has to
Right.
treat them all
Have
equal.
to treat
Right.
them equally.
So that's why
Yes.
there's no oppression of what people think. Oh, he's marrying 3 women. He's telling them to stay home, but he treats them all equally and gives them everything. So that's why I thought we should bring this up because it's a controversial topic that's going around.
So here's the thing, right? So going back to relationships itself, right?
Right.
As far as having multiple wives, that's okay in Islam, right?
Right.
You go and your partner comes to you and out here, if whether it's a he, she, whatever, and they tell you that hey, they want to have another partner. I think in general that's a little bit on the wrong side, right?
Right.
Because if they cheat on you, that's definitely on the wrong side. A lot of men accept that from women just because of the fact that they don't want to lose the woman. A lot of women accept that because they don't want to lose the man because of the attraction. I think that in general, in any setting, right? If a man or a woman does that to you once, they're going to do it again and again, right? Because it's all about respect. If someone has respect for you, right? Your woman or your man has respect for you, no matter what setting he's put in, he's never going to look at another woman because he's always going to be telling himself like, I respect my wife. This is before loyalty. This is before dishonesty. This is before everything else. It's respect. Respect is the first thing. So you put respect in your head and you tell yourself, my wife respects me enough. No matter where she's at, she's not even gonna be thinking about another man because it's all about respect. I don't even have to be there. No one has to be there. She could be there by herself at a grocery store, and a man approaches her. She's like, "Look, I'm married. I'm not talking to you." And it's the same thing. She guards herself because of the respect for you. So you have to build that respect first and foremost. Anytime I've ever dated a woman, the first thing I was told about was respect. I said, look, I'll respect you. I'll never call you out of your name. I don't want to cross those boundaries.
Yeah, once the respect leave,
Yep.
then anything goes.
So if a woman ever talked crazy to me, right, and called me out of my name or anything like that, that's when I have a serious conversation. Like, look, that I just can't do that. For me, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not me being prideful. It's not me being whatever. The fact that you disrespected me and I'm talking to you perfectly normally, calmly. You could talk to me the same way. I'm a man and you're a woman and I give you the respect. I want the respect too. You know what I mean? I'm giving you the same respect that I would want you to give me. So don't ever cross those lines, and we were talking about abuse and that kind of goes into that abuse. Like, you're not going to verbally abuse me. I'm not verbally abusing you. I'm not being physically abusive to you. I'm not doing any of those things. And I would want you to do the same exact thing. And so if a woman respects you or a man respects you, no matter what, they'll never look at another person or cheat on you or anything. So always establish respect first. Make sure that respect is always there, right?
It's mutual.
So it's mutual in the first and foremost place. So
love, loyalty, and respect.
absolutely. So Ayan, what do you think about that? So as far as going into the respect issue with the woman,
Man, listen, like, I've always been like a type of person. Like, if I felt disrespected, I'll get disrespectful.
Right, stupidity with stupidity.
Yeah,
that's the prison mentality.
I'm
Stupidity
hella,
with stupidity.
hella petty.
Yeah.
Like, I get petty. I get on some toxic shit. Like, I'm like, for sure. Like, I'm. Nonetheless, all it does is just like further push both of you guys down a rabbit hole or away from like whatever that you're trying to accomplish. You know, because now it's become tit for tat. It's a war. You know, they just say all is fair in in love and war, and now you guys are trying to put those buttons to push,
Mm-hmm.
and you pushing them purposely because you felt disrespected or you didn't feel appreciated. Like for me, a simple like, you know what, I was wrong, I apologize, like does something to me, like to the point like I'm no longer defensive. I'm like, you know what, all right. And I feel like we're turning over a new leaf just for a simple apology or just acknowledging like I have been guilty honestly of like being disrespectful.
Let's build on that, and I want to get you guys information on what is your guys like, and then I'm pretty sure a lot of females would also want to know turn-offs and turn-ons. Like, what do you hate that a woman does, and what do you like that a woman does, and how does
lies? That's the number one thing.
Turn off?
When a woman lies, I think that's the biggest turnoff in the world, right?
Sure.
I think it's in general for anybody, right? But that's the biggest turnoff for me in the world. And I've seen a woman like just lie about the most random things, and it was such a turnoff.
Small things.
I don't care about your job. I don't care, whether you have kids or not. I don't care, whether your car is broken down or not, right? I just genuinely care if you're a good person, what type of person you are, where you come from, what type of values do you have. Those are the things that I actually evaluate within you. So if you have to go and hide your faults, and I'm letting you know, I don't care about them, and you still have to hide them and lie about them, and then I have to find out later, that's the biggest turnoff in the world.
One of the turnoffs for me is like when women like talk down on themselves, When
Yes.
they elaborate on their insecurities and like, okay, like if it's something you don't like about your body, it's something you don't like about your appearance, like you could put all that effort that you're using to complain about it or elaborate on it into like changing these things.
Right.
I can't stand that when women talk, or compare themselves to other women.
Well, here's the thing.
My thing would be the type that like to drive from the passenger seat. Like you ain't got to tell me where to go and where to turn. Like what the
Backseat driver.
Yeah,
Backseat
like what
driver.
the.
Backseat driver. But here's the thing. For women, right? If a man that you're dating and he does not think that you're the most beautiful woman in the world, doesn't matter your body shape, your looks, or anything, that's not the man for you.
And let's be honest, we love when women are dressed down. We love it. You look good in a pair of sweats and some sneakers and a hoodie.
Yes.
Man, we only know what you're gonna look like when you dress up.
I mean, but that also goes on every person. Some people might be like, "Oh, she's not dressed well. I can't take her to certain places."
Yeah,
that could
but-
also be the situation.
Man.
But I want to talk about
cares?
like one thing that I hate that a girl does is when a girl moves way too fast. It's like I've only been seeing you for the 3 days, and you feel like it's already a relationship. That's one of my biggest turnoffs, and I hate when women do that. I like it more when a woman, gives me my time, my space.
That's about communication. You got to communicate that with them. You
But
got to
some girls
communicate that.
don't even hear that. It goes through one ear, comes out the other. They
But it's the
don't
same
wanna
thing
hear it.
like a guy.
Right.
Guys do the same
They
thing.
do the same
Like,
thing.
I
like
hate
the
moving-
girl's telling him, I
Yeah.
want to be in a relationship, and
Yeah.
it goes in one ear, comes out the other, and he's thinking,
So what's
I just
up?
want to sleep with
Yeah.
you.
So
I just want to sleep with
stop
you.
being
True.
possessive and just
But some
experience
girls
the
are
person.
like that too.
Just
Yeah.
There's some girls that just want to fuck all the time, or they just want to move too fast. And I
Hello?
don't feel like it's a relationship. It's not a problem, but it's like, goddamn, let me fucking have my space. Like I wanna, get to know the person and actually like take my sweet time.
But
Do I
that's
really
what-
wanna spend time with this person. But some girls move way too fucking
But
fast.
that's
Or
what
there's guys, too, that do the
life
same thing.
is.
Man, me too.
Life is about you taking chances. You meet a person and that person's not for you. You move on to the next person and you meet a next person. And so, yeah, it's tiring until you find your person, quote unquote, right? And until you find that person and that you'll be happy with. But in general, you can't just not date. You know, you can't just stay
You know the
single for
best
the
thing
rest of your
ever?
life and miserable. You gotta
Found
keep
that
going.
person. That person is yourself. You got to be happy with self. You got to
Yes.
love self first and
Yes.
foremost. You got to
Yes.
respect self. You get what I'm saying? Like, for real. And have
Yes.
boundaries for yourself. Because you can't have expectations for nobody else but yourself. You are
Yes.
your challenge.
Most people are looking for a person with all these qualities in which
They don't have
you don't
themselves.
possess yourself.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
How you looking for somebody that you aren't yourself?
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
I want a female man ambition. I want her with a bag, and you are lazy and broke.
Bro, yeah, but you want a female with a bag.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's the same thing with women too.
Yeah,
Women do
yeah,
the same thing. I
yeah.
want a man. I want a successful
I
man.
feel
It's like,
yeah, women do
all
it
right,
more so than men as well.
Bring
For
the
sure,
same
you got this
energy.
whole list of
Yeah.
qualities you wanted. You
bring
don't
the
even.
same energy to the table, right? And so if I want a woman who has a nice body and fit, I'm gonna be in the gym every day, which I am.
Right.
If I want a woman to
You see how you
dress
put
the
that, which
same,
I am. Yeah.
Throwing that out there. Now
Yeah,
let's,
let me put that out
all
there.
right,
Let's
so
put it out there.
let's go ahead and wrap this up. Is there
Yes.
anything you guys want to talk about?
yes. So we've continued doing our security thing. Very fortunate, and so
iSecurePro.com.
i-securepro.com.
Let's plug that
you
in.
can actually go
You guys
on my Insta,
Yep.
or you can email me at my work email, ray@i-securepro.com.
I'll put that in the description of the
And
video. Like
you can hit
always.
us up for any
There you
type
go.
of security jobs, whatever you guys need, and our Instagrams are gonna be on the video as well too.
Also,
so you
I
can
want to
hit-
say, man, shout out to the fans and the loyal people that's
Yes,
been
yes.
down and
Yeah.
Thank you
stand
for
down.
the
You feel me?
comments,
Thank
the
you.
You know what I'm
likes.
saying?
Appreciate it.
They're looking out on the Grease My Palms comments and likes and all that. You feel me? Timeline is coming soon. We're gonna get together in June. You feel me?
Yeah.
And
Hey,
put it
subscribers,
together,
we're only
you know?
100 subscribers
DL
away.
the bro. You feel me?
Subscribe to us. We're only 100 subscribers away.
Subscribe.
Please
Man.
give us
Yes.
the subscribe, the likes, and leave some comments on stuff that you guys want to see.
Yes,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, man! I just want to shout out, shout out to Henry Jones. Love Jones
Shout
Photography. My boy, check him out, man. He's very talented, very very talented. Mariah's Growing Hands on Instagram. Little sis doing her thing, man. You can book her. She traveling. Hairstylist. Yeah, man. We got some things coming up. And please, man, you guys, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We love to hear your criticism. We love to hear your input.
Love your loved ones. Love your partner the way that you would want them to love you.
Hey,
You know?
speaking of love, hey, Modesto Pimpin' on TikTok. Hey, we ain't forgot about you. Stay tuned, man.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Have a great
All
night,
right.
everybody.
Excellent.